Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Wednesday, the 22nd of February. Good to have you aboard. We are a Blue Wire podcast. However you're listening to us, appreciate that. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment. You do all that good stuff. It helps your boy out, your two-time championship broadcaster. It helps out his algorithm. And then I got all the monies. I don't know the specifics. But however you're listening to us, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Google. I can't list them all. I'll be here all day, all right? But however you're listening to us, I appreciate you. Make sure you tell your friends, you tell your family, and we continue all having a great time together. We got no Heat basketball tonight. The NBA gets back in action tomorrow. I believe tomorrow. The Heat are back in action tomorrow night. Today on the program, we're going to talk to La Voz, Jose Pineda, Spanish radio voice of the Miami Heat for pretty much the entirety of the Miami Heat's existence. So our pal Jose Pineda, we have not yet had him on ZASLOW Show 2.0. We will check in with him. He's a great guy, so we'll talk Heat basketball with him. Looking forward to catching up with La Voz. The Panthers, they're back in action on Friday, another couple days. We're hoping Anthony Duclair is going to return. That's fine. Do got some NFL news and notes to get to here. I want to start off the program. Last night, I didn't do anything special. Caught up on my stories. Finished Monday Night Raw from Monday night. Make sure if you haven't listened or watched, but really listening is the most important. We got the youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show, and that's great and everything, but the most important thing is you guys listen to the podcast, all right? So if you're ever confused, like, I've had to tell people that. Some people like watching ZASLOW Show 2.0 on the YouTube. That's fine. It's there for you to watch. What I would say is maybe a split up, because the podcast is what's most important. The youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show, that's kind of like a bonus. Like I would say, listen to the show on the podcast, and then if you want to watch the interviews, on youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show, maybe that's a way that you can go about it, because then you get to watch the show a little bit, but you're also downloading the podcast. So like I said, look, however you're listening/watching, I love you long time. But for those who are wondering what the difference there is, at least for now, listening on the podcast, that's the bread and butter for ZASLOW Show 2.0. So I appreciate it. I love you long time. But anyway, if you haven't caught up on this week's episode of It's Still Real to Me, we did Elimination Chamber recap show Sunday night. I know a lot of you guys were looking for it Sunday or Sunday morning. Sunday night is when it dropped. I was in Atlanta this weekend for a little bit. So go back. Elimination Chamber recap show. It's still totally valid, even though we had our stories continue on Monday night. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Anyway, we got a lot to get to here today. We got some NFL news. I do want to start, though. Last night, like I said, watched a little bit of my stories. Watched the movie Shrek the Third with my younger son, because he's never seen it before. He was into that. I'm like, yeah, hop into bed here, playa. Let's watch Shrek the Third. I love the Shrek movies, man. I haven't seen them in a long time. So watched a little bit of that last night because the sports were lacking. Now, one thing that I do want to hit on at the start of the show here today. I'm the ticket ninja. I know how to get all the good tickets for the big shows. I get all the pre-sale passwords. I laugh in the face of your pre-sale pass. What a joke. You'll never keep me out of your pre-sales. So what goes on sale this morning? I think it was just announced yesterday. World Tour, Guns N' Roses. Yes, love Guns N' Roses. I've seen Guns N' Roses, like the real Guns N' Roses, this version of Guns N' Roses, I've seen twice. Saw them at Marlins Park when they had their initial, reunion tour, And that was, 5 or 6 years ago, Marlins Park. Phenomenal show. I was blown away with how great that show was. And and Axl sounds great still. And I wasn't surprised at how good Axl sounded, because it was only a few months before that when Axl was touring with AC/DC. And I saw him with AC/DC at Miami-Dade Arena. And he sounded fantastic. He didn't look great, but he sounds great. And he's still up there doing all the Axl moves. He's doing all the dancing. I love it. So, saw Guns N' Roses at Marlins Park, what was it, 5, 6 years ago. That was awesome. Blown away. And then saw them again, 3 years ago? A little more than 3 years ago? 3 or 4 years ago. When they played, no, it wasn't a New Year's show. It was before the Super Bowl. Whenever the last Super Bowl was here, They had like a big concert, and Guns N' Roses was headlining it at Miami-Dade Arena. And so I saw them there with my younger son. Snoop Dogg opened for them. That was a lot of fun. Really great show. I saw the Bobo version of Guns N' Roses. That's when it was Axl touring with like other dudes. You had like Buckethead. You had Buddy from Marilyn Manson. That's a bootleg version of Guns N' Roses. I saw them, and that was one of those shows. That was back when Axl... See, Axl doesn't do this anymore. He's very professional now. But that was back when... I remember it was a weeknight. We had great seats for Bobo Guns N' Roses. Opening act goes on at 8. They're done at 8:45. Guns N' Roses did not come out until 12:30. We're sitting there for 3.5 hours waiting for Guns N' Roses. And it's a weeknight. I was tired as hell. Me and my buddy, we stayed for like 5 songs. Like, get the hell out of here. So tired. That was when Axl used to pull the bullshit. They don't do that anymore. They're actually super professional now. Come down on time, the whole bit. So anyway, I'm dying to go. I want to go see Guns N' Roses again. And they were here, I think it was like a year and a half ago. They played at the Hard Rock Live. I actually had tickets to see them at Tampa's Raymond James Stadium, and the show got canceled. I'm pretty sure it's because of COVID, so maybe it was like almost 3 years ago. But anyway, tickets went on sale for the pre-sale this morning at Hard Rock Live. You got to have your head examined if you're paying for those tickets. I love that venue. It's a great venue, Hard Rock Live. But the tickets are outrageous. Now, it's twofold why the tickets are outrageous. Number one, small venue. Higher demand. You know the way supply and demand works. I took economics at UF. I got a B. So that's one of the reasons. Number two, I would imagine that the way that Hard Rock Live, that venue, that small venue, gets so many amazing shows. Look at the shows they get, man. You had Billy Joel there recently. You had Metallica there recently. They get all the amazing shows. I'm actually going there in a couple of weeks to see Greta Van Fleet. Very excited about that. The reason that they get all the huge shows, I'm guessing they pay a lot of money. They pay those acts a lot of money. And so how do they recoup it? Hey, you guessed it. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this. They then make it back by charging an incredible amount for the tickets. And so, for example, you want to sit or stand in the pit area at the Hard Rock Live? $700. These are regular prices. This Ticketmaster is not the resale market. $700. If you want to be in the lower level area there to have a real seat, cheapest ticket was $800. And we're going up to $1,000. Who's paying that? Like I said to my buddy this morning, hey, $700, Guns N' Roses, pit. You in? He's like, I gotta think about it. That's steep. I wrote back, oh, dude, I'm totally kidding. There's no chance I'm paying that. How can I pay that? How can anyone pay that? I would love to take my son to go see Guns N' Roses. I'm paying like $1,000 a ticket? Are you crazy? So, this ticket prices are out of control, man. Like, for my wife, we bought tickets for Dave Matthews Band. It's this summer. They're here every summer. We bought tickets last week. Got good seats. Paid $150 each. I mean, it's expensive, but concerts are expensive to go to. $150, that's the going rate. All right, there you have it. But man, this Guns N' Roses, and I don't even fault Guns N' Roses, because I looked up some of the prices for Guns N' Roses. Like, they're playing Wrigley Field, they're playing Fenway. Get tickets like $200, $250. That's a normal concert ticket price. But this Hard Rock Live, oh my God. Again, love the venue. But these prices are outrageous at that venue. It's crazy. So we're not going to see Guns N' Roses. And I'm not even going to sit here and tell you, I'm trying to see Guns N' Roses. I'm not trying to see Guns N' Roses. No one's setting me up with Guns N' Roses tickets. It's too expensive. So you got the pre-sale going on right now. Good luck. And you got the regular on sale on Friday. Good luck. Now, more seats will be released on Friday, and some of the prices will be lower than what I just mentioned. But you know how this goes. If you wait for a general on sale for any popular show, you're not getting it. The pre-sale is practically the general on sale nowadays because there's like 10 different pre-sales. So I'll check back on Friday with the regular on sale, but I don't know. If you want to go get tickets, you can get into that pre-sale right now. Because you don't even need a password, because you can buy the official platinum tickets. Those are available right now. You gotta be head exam, $1,000 a ticket. You want to take your girl, you want to take your boy, you want to take your son or daughter. You're in 2K right there, easy. Sucks. All right, let's get into some sports here. So the Heat are back in action on Friday. Everybody knows that you're probably not going to have Giannis. Giannis, he sprained his hand, the game before the All-Star, and then he started the All-Star game. He had a basket, and then he took himself out. He's going to miss a few games. Apparently, x-rays were negative. The x-rays were good, but he's dealing with pain, and he's not going to play until the pain subsides. So he's probably going to miss a few games, and that would start with this Friday against the Heat. Obviously, we're going to see the debut of Kevin Love. Now they're back at practice either today or tomorrow. I don't know. We'll ask Lavos, Jose Pineda, but I'm looking for Kevin Love to get some serious playing time. I think he can help this team right off the bat. Now, he's getting the comparisons to Shane Battier. Can he play the last couple of years of his career here? I hope that's the case. I hope they hold on to him. I think he's got a lot to offer still, Kevin Love. I think it's a perfect signing. You guys know that. I was saying that from the moment it was discussed that he could get bought out. But, as far as comparing to Shane Battier was still a really good defender. Now, Love's never been a great defender. He can defend a little bit, but he's never been a great defender. He's going to be able to shoot. He's going to be able to pass. Great with the outlet passes. I'm looking for that rebound and that deep outlet pass to Jimmy Butler. That's like the one thing Kyle Lowry's been good at. I'm looking for Kevin Love to be able to do that. Hit those corner threes, help space the floor. If you think Bam has been good right now, wait till you get another big man who could space the floor a little bit. So I really think it rejuvenates the team. You look, if you're watching on Instagram, on social media, you get the back and forth between Love and Bam, and I think sometimes, the team, you could be stuck a little bit, right? It's felt at times like this team is stuck, and I think he could rejuvenate that locker room. Especially, it's coming at a good time after the All-Star break. Everybody gets back. You're revved up. You're raring. You're ready to go. I think the Heat are primed for a big-time final 23 games, whatever it is. Eric Spoelstra's teams are always better the second half of the season. Everybody knows that. The Heat are a half game back at number 6. I think they're going to be able to catch the Knicks. You got 2 or 3 games left against the Knicks, actually. So you're going to be able to make up that ground on your own. The Heat already missed an opportunity to make up ground. That game against Brooklyn toward the end of before the All-Star break. They could have pulled within a half game back. They lost that game, and so now the Heat are sitting there. They're a total of 3 games back of Brooklyn. 3 games back in the loss column. And 4 games back of Cleveland, which you're likely not going to catch, although they play Cleveland 2 times coming up. Right behind the Heat, 3 games, well, I guess it's not right behind, 3 games back of the Heat are the Atlanta Hawks, who fired Nate McMillan yesterday. That kind of came out of nowhere, but that's a weird one because Trae Young was already, he's already had the label of he may be difficult to coach, may not be good with his teammates either. And now for the second time, I don't think it was last season, I think it was the season before that. Yeah. So for the second time in 3 seasons, the Atlanta Hawks have fired a coach mid-season. And you remember it was earlier this year where Trae Young, he didn't show up to a game because he had a miscommunication or a disagreement with Nate McMillan. But then on the other side, Nate McMillan was fired in Indiana after losing to the Heat in the bubble. And that felt unceremonious. I think Nate McMillan's a good coach, and I thought he did a good job with that Indiana team. He got fired there, and that was a weird situation. And now he got fired here, which is a weird situation. I think there's probably blame to go around on both sides. But here's something that I think a lot of people don't realize when it comes to Trae Young. And look, Trae Young's a good player, right? Trae Young averages 27 points a game. He averages 10 assists a game. That number's important too. But Trae Young is not as good a shooter as people think he is. Overall he shoots 43%, which is nothing special. Trae Young's big-time three-point shooter, right? That's his thing. Trae Young shoots 32% from 3. It's bad. Like, that's not average. 32% from 3 is bad. he's not this big-time three-point shoots a lot of them. He averages 7 3-point shots a game. Now, for Trae Young's career, he shoots 35%, which is average. That's average. That's for his career. This year, he's shooting 32%. It's bad. So he's not having a good year, and he's not as good a shooter as everybody thinks he is. He's a volume shooter. Like shooting it from deep. Everyone gets excited about that. When they drafted him, he was supposed to be the next Steph Curry, right? Steph Curry got shooting 32% from three. So that's a weird situation in Atlanta there. We'll talk a lot of heat with Jose Pineda, but I'll ask about what's going on there in Atlanta. We'll do a little around the NBA with him as well. I do want to mention before we get to Jose here. So how about this? This has snuck up on us. Now, when I used to do ZASLOW Show on 560 WQAM on terrestrial radio, it was pretty much a soccer show. I'm an inaugural season ticket holder for Inter Miami, right? Everybody knows that. I'm an inaugural season ticket holder. Do you know Inter Miami opens up their season this weekend? Yes. That's right. That snuck up on us. Inter Miami opens their season this weekend. They're hosting Montreal. I'm going to be there because here's the thing. So remember I told you guys I'm giving up my season tickets for Inter Miami, and I told my wife too that I was giving them up. I didn't give them up. I don't know how I'm going to get out of that jam. I'm going to have to tell my wife, especially when I go to the game this Saturday, because I'm going, especially when I go to the game this weekend, but I think I'm going to be in trouble. I did not give up those tickets. I told my wife I was giving them up. We were going to save the money. I wasn't going to the games enough. I held on to them. She's going to be pissed. I held on to them in part because I was hoping we were going to get Messi, which may still happen. I don't know. They don't have Messi, so I'm going to be in trouble. But if we do get Messi, everyone's going to be thanking me. That's right. My wife, my kids, all my friends, because they're going to want to all go to games. If we get Messi, everyone's going to thank me for tricking them and holding on to the Inter Miami tickets. But for now, I'm going to have to tell my wife. She's going to be pissed. But anyway, Inter Miami season opens up this weekend. And how about this? So they changed the playoff format in MLS. They're allowing 9 teams in. They're doing like a play-in tournament kind of deal like the NBA. They're allowing 9 teams instead of 8, where 8 plays 9 in a wild card game, and they get the number 8 spot, and they obviously play, the number 1 seed. But in the first round of the MLS playoffs now, they're doing a best out of 3, which I like, and the higher seed gets games 1 and then potentially game 3. I like the best out of 3, but the part that's weird to me, so it's a best out of 3, but then the semifinal and the conference final and the MLS final are 1 game. Wouldn't you assume it'd be the other way around, where you would have a best of 3 maybe in the conference finals and then the MLS final? But a best of 3 in the first round and then a one-off the rest of the way. I don't know, that seems weird to me. But I do like the best of 3. I think that's cool. So that starts this weekend. Wish me luck with telling my wife. My wife's family is Argentinian. We love Messi. It'd been a lot easier for me to tell her that I tricked everyone, that I'm keeping the tickets because we got Messi. We don't have Messi yet. So I'm going to be in trouble. There's no way around it. It's just a matter of how and when I tell my wife. Got to do it before Saturday. That's for sure. All right. So I do have some NFL stuff, but I want to talk to Jose Pineda first. So before we get to Jose, I want to tell you guys, hey, look, if you're not feeling well, one of my favorite I love all my sponsors, but Doctors on Call 365, South Florida's urgent care that comes to you if you're not feeling well. Everybody hates being sick. Well, you don't want to have to wait hours in the emergency room to be seen. You don't want to call your doctor. They can't see you for another 2 weeks. They don't have an opening. I'm sick right now. I need to see someone. Doctors on Call 365, South Florida's urgent care that comes to you. They treat children, adults, the elderly, minor illnesses, minor injury. If you need IV fluids, you need vitamin therapy, you need blood drawn, you need a COVID, flu, strep test, you need a prescription filled or refilled. Serving all of Broward County, Miami-Dade County, Southern Palm Beach as well. Doctors on Call 365. They're coming to your home, to your office, wherever you are. You're going to be seen right away. Well, you'll get someone on the phone right away. You'll be seen that day. Get someone on the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and get Doctors on Call 365 to help you feel better right away. 786-577-9302. Go online, doctorsoncall365.com, but get someone on the phone right away if you're not feeling well. If it's an emergency, you call 911. But otherwise, 786-577-9302. Doctors on Call 365. Love having them aboard. ZASLOW Show 2.0.